Hey, what's up Aquamigos? How are you guys doing today? If you're new here, my name is Tobias, and as you can see, I'm back home. As a lot of you may know, I was in Europe for 2.5 months. I'm back home now. It was quite difficult for me to keep up with my Aquamigos videos while I was away, but I tried my best. But if you saw the last video that I uploaded, it was a 5-year update video on the pothos growing out of my 15-gallon aquarium behind me. And I just want to do a quick side-by-side comparison because just in the last 2.5 months that I've been gone, we've seen a lot of growth in these plants. And I still don't know if I'm saying it right, whether it's pothos, whether it's pothos, I don't know. But we'll see that the longest part of the plant made it all the way over here. All the way over here, the other side of the room. Now, I have not touched that tank since the day before I left on my trip. And I got back home about 2 weeks ago, and I still have not touched this tank. So it's effectively been about 3 months since the last time I did a water change on this tank. Now, in the last video that I posted, which was my 5-year update on the pothos in this tank, we saw that I checked the parameters and we actually had a nitrate reading of 0. Now, I just want to mention really quick that while I was gone, my dad was coming in here and feeding my fish in all of my tanks. As you can see, they're all doing really well. When I got back, I did a big water change on the 10-gallon, and I also did a big water change on the 20-gallon. The tanks are doing perfectly fine, and I also had my automatic water top-up systems going while I was away. And once those buckets ran low on water, my dad was good at filling them back up with treated water. But of course, my 10-gallon tank and 20-gallon tank do not have the benefits of having a ton of pothos in them. So yeah, when I got back, I was sure to make big water changes in those tanks. However, if you did see the last video that I uploaded, which was the 5-year update on the pothos in this tank, by the way, if you haven't seen it, I'll link it down in the description below because I really encourage you to go look at that. But spoiler alert, we had a 0 parts per million nitrate reading in that video. I tested the water just about 10 minutes ago, and as you can see, we now have a nitrate reading in my 15-gallon of about 5 parts per million. And considering that I haven't done a water change in this tank for about 3 months, I consider that a huge win. And just to be on the safe side, I did check the other parameters. We're looking at a high range pH level of about 8, 0 nitrites. And then I know it does look like we have 0.25 ammonia. However, I've talked about this before. Once these ammonia test kits get old, they always show a reading of 0.25 parts per million. That's just been my personal experience. I've even done a side-by-side comparison with a brand new ammonia test kit and my old ammonia test kit. This test kit expires February of 2027. So in February, I will be getting a new API master test kit. But yeah, essentially my parameters are spot on. And I'm not in the business of calling out other fish YouTubers, but there's one fish YouTuber. He's a huge fish YouTuber. He has like several million subscribers, and he also has a guppy tank with a ton of pothos on it, and maybe not quite as much as I have, but he does have a lot of pothos on his guppy tank, and he claims that he hasn't done a water change on his guppy tank for like over 400 days. And kind of one of the problems that I have with that is that he's not showing his water parameters. I have never seen him show his nitrate levels on his guppy tanks. He'll like make these claims about how his plants are like sucking up a ton of nitrates, but he never actually shows the nitrate levels in his videos. We can see that right now after about 3 months, I did get a little bit of a nitrate reading. I mean, 5 parts per million nitrate is totally fine, but he claims that he hasn't done a water change in like over 400 days. There doesn't seem to be like much algae on his glass at all. And also another weird thing is that at one point it seems like he did move his tank. It used to be like directly in front of a window and he moved it to next to the window. And I don't see how he did that without draining any water from the tank. So that's kind of another thing. Like, did he actually not do any water changes? And does he like not get algae on the glass of his tank? I mean, even on my 20-gallon, which is not directly in front of a window, it does get a little bit of algae. And as you can see, this tank is directly in front of a window and we can pretty much not even see through the glass at this point. Like, that is just a ton of algae. So I don't know, guys. So yeah, there you can kind of see like how much algae we kind of got on the tank right there. But kind of the problem that I have with huge fish YouTubers like making claims like that, the problem is that a beginner will see that and they'll think, oh, I don't need to really maintain this tank or do water changes or even check my parameters. All I need to do is throw some pothos in my tank and that'll take care of it. However, if you did see the last video that I uploaded, I documented what my nitrate readings were along the way. And it wasn't until the 5-year mark where I saw like a huge drop in nitrates. Up until that point, I was still getting like relatively high nitrate levels considering the amount of pothos I had growing out of the tank. And also, I do get quite a bit of sediment at the bottom of my tank just from fish waste. So I mean, in his tanks, I don't see any fish waste really. And I know like some of you guys might want me to drop his name or his channel or whatever, but I just kind of don't want to like start any unnecessary drama. I mean, I don't think he's like a bad guy or anything. But anyways, guys, I think that's enough ranting and raving. I'm just gonna go ahead and scrape some of the algae off the front of this tank. Maybe I'll do a partial water change just to get it looking a bit better. Doesn't that already just look so much better? We can actually see through the glass now. So I'm not really doing a water change because the tank needs a water change. I'm just doing a water change to hopefully pick up some of that algae that I just scraped off the side of the glass, or else it'll just kind of settle down at the bottom of the tank. And yeah, just so it looks a bit nicer, you know? Usually you do a water change because you have high nitrates. I'm just doing a water change because I want the tank to look a little nicer. So here's another thing I didn't really mention, but water clarity. You're gonna get a tint to your water if you don't do a water change for a long time. If someone says they haven't done a water change in a year and a half and their water is still like pretty clear, I would be a little skeptical. You know, this is just after 3 months. When I left on my trip, my water was clear. This is 3 months later. And yes, I do have a filter on this tank. I have this AquaClear filter in the back. It's kind of hard to see, but yeah, I do have a filter. There we go. Now the next thing I got to do is clean that filter, that aquarium filter. It's looking pretty grimy. By the way, for my aquariums, I use Seachem Prime as my water conditioner to treat my tap water, which seems to work pretty well. So anyways, guys, I guess the moral of this story is don't just blindly believe people who say stuff online. I think it goes for everything, not just in the fish community, but pretty much everything when it comes to stuff online. You can't take anything at face value. People should at least be attempting to provide some kind of evidence when they're making some kind of claim. And of course, guys, I will have more koi pond videos coming up very soon because I also, of course, abandoned my koi pond for 2.5 months. So I gotta make some videos on these guys really soon. And by the way, guys, you'll notice the pool pond is gone. Check that out, no more pool pond. I wanna go ahead and give these guys a quick feeding because it looks like they're hungry, and I haven't shown a feeding of my pond since before I left. So yeah, there we go, guys. Everybody's eating good. So anyways, guys, it's good to be back. I'm trying to get back onto my regular Friday upload schedule like before. If you guys have any questions for me, feel free to leave them down in the comments below. And if you did like this video or if it helped you out, I'd really appreciate it if you went down there and gave this video a like. That helped me out so much. If you'd like to see more of my videos in the future, make sure to hit that subscribe button. I'll go ahead and put my Instagram right here, and I'll talk to you guys in my next video. Peace.